Hey guys, here we are again. Welcome to the Linux Fever, and today in this particular tutorial I am gonna teach how you can install Samba server in a Linux environment and how you can configure Samba server. So let me tell you, give you a basic brief explanation of what the Samba server is exactly. So we use Samba server when we require to share some folders or files between different operating systems, like different operating systems used in different machines. Like I have Samba server in my Linux, and someone in the same network which is in the Windows system wants to uh, view or read or write those files and folders of my Linux server, and they can use that. We can achieve that kind of uh, share between files and folders using the Samba server. So let's begin. I will tell you first how you can install and configure Samba server, and then I will show you how to connect from a client machine to that Samba server and how to share files and folders. So let's begin. Basically, first we have to this is my Ubuntu server where I'm going to install the Samba server, and this will be our main Samba server, and I will be using CentOS 7 for the client machine. As a client machine, I am going to use this CentOS 7. So basically, first what we have to do is to install Samba server. So let's get installed. First, you have to type uh, apt-get install Samba common, sorry, and I guess Samba client, yes. My typing is little bad. Okay, uh, we need these three utilities, that is Samba. One is Samba, one is Samba common, and third one is Samba client. So just press enter and it will install these three. So as I have already installed this all this, it says that these are already installed and updated. So you just need to install this. Make sure you have a active internet connection and install all of this. Now in the second step, we will basically create directories that we are going to use for our Samba share. So just create two directories. First one is let's name it Samba. Let's name it Samba public. This will be our public shared directory, and the other one will be Samba private. Okay, this will be our private directory that we are going to share, but it will only be used by some particular users with some access permissions. Okay, now what we have to do is to change permission for both of these directories. Now we will change permission to both of the directories using the chmod command. Give 777 to the both of these directories. Okay, same for the private. Now here we are giving 777 full permission to both of the directories, as we are going to share this both of these directories. So now we have to configure the server, and now we have to first access the configuration file, right? Nano etc Samba, and you will find it here as smb.conf. Okay, so you have to edit this file. Now when you come to this file, you will find something like first come to this line, and here we will find work group, and work group should be work group. Yeah, this is fine. If it is not work group, then change this to work group. Okay, so and this is basically needed if you want to connect from a Windows client. Okay, now we will directly go to the very last bottom of the file, and here we'll add two entries. The first one will be Samba public. This entry is for public sharing. This will actually allow any user who read and write in our public directory that we have already created. Now just first give it a comment. Okay, now we have to give the path. Now remember, this path is going to be the actually the shared directory, public directory. Just we have just created. I think we have created it like Samba public, right? Okay, so this is the directory, and now we have to write browsable. Browsable to yes. This is this browsable is just allowed to browse files and folders in a Windows client machine, and we have to configure read only. Set this to no because we want to read and write both the permissions, and I forgot one here. Now this should be public to yes, as it's going to be accessed by publicly. And okay, we are done with this. Now coming to the second one, Samba private. Okay, here we also add a comment. Now the path will be the directory that is private directory. Okay, path, and what we will do, public to no. So we don't want to get this accessed by any user, just any user. You will need this to access only by some particular users. Okay, so we have to mention those users name here, like this. Valid users is equal to suppose we have a user 1 and user 2, right? So only these two users will be able to access this private shared directory. Okay, now we'll here mention one more argument here, write list. This is basically the write permission. The write permission will be only for the user 2, suppose. So only the user 2 will be read and write in the directory, and the user 1 will only able to read the files and directories. Okay, so with this we are done with the configuration, and we'll just save this file and just exit from here. And now we'll test our configuration using the test from command. Here you can see we are not getting any kind of important error, so this is fine. Press enter, and everything is listed out here, your configuration basically. So everything is fine. Now what we have to do is to we have to create two users, right, that we have assigned here in this private section. So we have to create that user. So I will just use the user command. Okay, I have added two users, and now we will set assembly person for these two users. You can type any password out here, but just make sure you remember this password. Okay, now we are done with the setting of the password, and now we will just enable this SMB service. Okay, here you can type service SMBT start, or if you are in a CentOS or Red Hat based machine, then you can type system control start SMB. Okay, so I think SMB is running, and we have to one more service we have to activate or start, that is NMB. NMB comes with SMB, and both services are now activated, and now we have to configure yeah, we have not configured the SE Linux settings yet, so SE Linux might prevent the client from accessing these shared directories, so we have to configure the SE Linux over here. So we'll first get the status of SE Linux. So here you can see if we type get enforce, here you can see it is disabled, so the SE Linux is disabled for my system. So you can just basically disable the SE Linux, or you can apply some particular settings for Samba for the SE Linux. So I have just disabled the SE Linux here, and now we have to configure firewall D2, the default firewall of this system. We have to configure this. So you have to type this command firewall cmd permanent at service equal to Samba. So it says it's already enabled and it says success. So we have enabled added the service Samba to firewall, and now we have to reload the firewall. Okay, now we have configured the firewall too. Now we are done with the setting up the Samba server. Now we will move to the client machine and see what we have to do here. So first of all, here also we have to first install the Samba client out here. So we will type yum install Samba client, and you have to install one more thing, that is CIFS utils. This is basically this is a file system type, and this is used to mount the shared directories, right? So what we are here doing is to installing the Samba client. This is already installed in my system, so it says it's already installed, nothing to do. And just remember this command, and if it's not already installed in your system, you have to install this one. Now what we are going to do is to just we will make sure if we can connect to our server. For that we will need the IP address of our Samba server. Let's find out the IP address of the server. This is our server, and we will find out the IP address using ipAddr command. So here you can see the IP address is 192.168.56.130. Okay, so this is our server IP address, and we will check the connection using the command SMB client. Okay, the SMB client L. Okay, now just type the IP address. So this is my IP server IP address, and now if you type enter, it will ask for a password. Just leave it blank and press enter, and here you can see that we have two share names, Samba public and Samba private out here, and it will list the shared directories and some work group information and all. So it confirms that we can connect to the server properly. And now what we are going to do is just mount these two shared directories. So how we can do that? First of all, let me create two mount directories, so we can mount create a mount point. uh, yeah, I will create one directory that is public, and other one is private. Okay, and I have created two directories, mount public and mount private. So we'll mount both the shared directories here. Just type mount, yeah, IP address of the server. Okay, mount two backslash and IP address, and here we will type Samba public. So we are going to mount the public shared directory. Okay, that is Samba public, and we'll mount it to the mount mnt/public. Okay, it will ask for the password. Just press enter and leave it blank, and it is mounted. Now if we list mount public. Okay, now here you can see you can list here, and if you want to just create some files over here. Okay, I have created two files over here, and you can see we can create files over here and read and write and all. So basically the shared directory is mounted over here. In the same way, we can also mount the private directory too. So we will use this is we have to use one additional argument, that is O, so that we can mount this using the username. Okay, so here we need a username to mount that private directory, because we have already set it up that in the server that only particular users can access that private directory. Okay, so the username will be user1, that is we created previously, user1. And okay, now the IP address, I think yes, 192.168.56.130. yeah, now the Samba private. Yeah, okay, and we'll mount it to the mnt private folder or directory. Okay, now it will ask for you the password, and here you have to type the Samba password that we created for the user1. Okay, here we have successfully mounted the private directory, right? So if we list it mnt private, here you can see we can list this private directory. Let's see if we can write files to this directory, right? So we'll touch. Okay, we can also write files to this. Okay, so basically this is the how we can connect to the server using the client machine. So this client machine is basically another Linux machine. Now imagine in a situation where you have to connect to the Samba server using Windows machine. So this is my host machine. I am going to connect to the Samba server using this particular Windows machine. Let's see if we can connect to the machine or not. Just two blacks. Yeah. No. Let's wait. Yeah. Access 130. This was the IP address. Here we can see that we can successfully access this both of these shared folders. If you go to the public folder, you can see you can access the public folder as well as the private folder too. Okay, fine. Okay, now if I create some files, and let's just create a blank document over here in the private directory and just name it file new. Okay, so when I created this new file into the private directory, you can see over here in the our server, it will be listed over here. Okay, so you can see over here the file new.txt is also now listed over here. Now if you can access that from our client Linux client machine, that is this will be our mount point of mount mnt private, right? So if we try to access this mnt private, you can also see here the file is also listed over here. So this is how we can actually synchronize and share files and folders over the Samba server. So this was the tutorial. If you like the video, please uh, do let me know if I missed something, or if you have any other suggestions or confusion regarding this particular tutorial. Please let me know in the comments. Thank you.